Ash.
Taryne.
For today's fact or fiction with Taryne, Renee, we're going to do celebrity edition.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
Do you want to know a fact about Kanye or Leonardo DiCaprio?
Ooh, let's go Leo.
Okay. Did you know Leonardo DiCaprio's mom was looking at a Leonardo da Vinci painting in a museum in Italy when Leo first kicked, and that's why he's named Leonardo.
I love that.
Is it true?
We'll never know.
The world may never know. But it says it on the internet.
But grateful. Forever grateful.
Right?
To her.
Right?
She
also,
brought a lot to this world.
Kanye used to work at the Gap.
Was that the other fact?
Like, why is that
we got
so
a twofer
weird to
today,
me?
Guys.
Not me telling you to choose and then me
It's
being
a
like,
special
but
day.
I have to tell you.
We are sponsored by Simplisafe. If you ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there is no better time than now. Right now, our friends at Simplisafe are giving UA listeners access to all their New Year's holiday deals, 20% off their award-winning home security, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I have a hard time sleeping if I don't have my security system on. I'm obsessed with Simplisafe because it is so easy to use, and there's always people available to talk you through any kind of problem that might come your way. We love Simplisafe because it has everything you need to make your home safe, indoors and outdoor cameras. And my favorite part is they have comprehensive sensors that are all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simplisafe was even named Best Home Security System of 2021 by US News and World Report, and I love that. So hurry, take 20% off your Simplisafe system, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplisafe.com/advice. Again, that's simplisafe.com/advice for 20% off your entire system.
Today's episode is brought to you by Curology. Curology is a game-changing custom skincare made for you by a dermatology provider. They'll create a custom prescription cream for your specific goals, whether that's tackling acne, clogged pores, skin texture, dark spots, fine lines, or something else. You start by taking a short online skin quiz and uploading photos, and if it's a good fit, they'll ship you your formula right to your door. It even has your name on the bottle. One of my favorite things about Curology is their custom prescription formulas. They know that no two breakouts are exactly alike, and all of our skin is unique. So they take the time to get to know your skin and make you a formula that's made just for you from proven prescription ingredients. And can we talk about the convenience? No more getting lost in the skincare aisle or guessing at what will work for you. Curology takes the pain out of finding the right products by sending you a full dermatologist design routine, including a cleanser, moisturizer, and a custom formula made for your goals. Get started with Curology just like we did with a free 30-day trial at Curology.com/advice. Just pay $5 for shipping and handling. That's Curology.com/advice to start your free 30-day trial. Cancel anytime. Prescription subject to consultation.
Imagine him just selling polos, being like, "Hi, welcome to the Gap."
I feel like he was the type of person that would like be like wrapping up your purchase and also telling you like just random information.
I know exactly.
Like he'd be like, you know, how's your day? And then you go to start talking about your day and he'd be like, yeah, man, like just life and the world. Yeah. And he'd be having all these like very insightful thoughts and kind of forcing them on you as you're waiting for him to just hand you your bag. That's
what was he
1,000% what it was like.
I would love to know like what he was like. Like if he was like, I don't know, like because I feel like a lot of artist types are like a lot of times like socially shy, but they're like brilliant, right? Yeah. So it'd be just interesting to know like, like what type of employee was he before he like never had to work again?
Yeah, like
you know?
Was he a good employee? Was he a hard worker, or was he just out there just living life? You know,
was he like hi, just like welcome to the Gap,
welcome to the Gap. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ashley. That's Taryne. This is Unsolicited Advice, where we give you advice on your life situations. Yeah, on all life situations. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. This is not YouTube, Ashley. This is not. Oof. Guys, we're done with Vlogmas, but we still it's still ingrained in me. This is not YouTube. Like, rate, review, and share this podcast. And also, if you haven't written a story yet, this is your sign. This is your sign.
You know what? It's a new year.
New year, new me.
It's a new you. It's not about you right now, Ash.
Well, it's a new year, new us.
We're talking about our listeners.
As a community.
It's, it's your time. Be brave. Send in your stories.
This is your year.
Or you know what? Live a life that's worthy of creating stories.
Ooh, go outside and make some stories,
and that's
guys.
All life, mama. Do things scary so you can embarrass yourself for our podcast.
For us.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
I'm thriving. I love New Year's. Mm-hmm. Like, I love new beginnings. I've talked about this before. So, I'm extra just like hopeful, and the world hasn't crushed my spirits yet.
Yeah. We're starting fresh. Blank canvas.
Check in with me next weekend. But
let's give it a week.
Right?
We'll circle back.
And see where we are. Is there anything you need to update the class with?
No, not really. Life's been good. New Year's is great. Feeling good. Getting rid of all the Christmas decor was nice. I feel like I love Christmas, but I feel like it feels very messy because there's just stuff everywhere. Like not bad stuff, not dirty stuff.
No, but that makes sense for your personality.
There's just so many things everywhere, and I like it really clean. I like when I can see the floor, and I like when, everything's very visually clean. So yeah, it's been hard. Felt really good to clean up and see the house back in its
I feel like I'm like opposite.
place.
I have a hard time cleaning up after Christmas.
Yeah, I feel like I used to be sad when I was younger, and the older I get, the more like, all right, on to the next thing, so.
You do clean up after Christmas, like literally like the next day.
Yeah, because in my head, it's like, why?
I've never noticed that.
It's kind of like, there's nothing to look forward to anymore. So like, why have the tree up?
What is worth living for anymore? It's done.
Yeah, I really go hard for cleaning, and I almost always film it. So
yeah,
that's also another thing.
She's a cleaner.
Yeah.
She's a cleaner. What's the next holiday to look forward to? Valentine's Day,
which is Taryne's favorite holiday.
One of
Oh.
Ash. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about that. Anyways, I have tearing it up for this week.
Thank God.
So, I'm really just carrying our team today. And it is titled Dating App Edition.
Ooh.
We love it.
Dating app.
Honestly, like, I can't see. I've twiddled around. Is that a word? On dating apps.
Twiddled?
Enough.
Yeah, sure.
Twiddled.
Sure.
Twiddled?
I don't think it is, but yeah, sure.
Twiddle my thumbs.
Twiddled
around.
I don't. I feel like I shouldn't be making this call.
Where's that one dad needs to email us back and tell us if it's right or not. I feel like I've been on them long enough to where like I'm like there's no way there's no way one person is out there and just started a dating app, had beautiful, pleasant conversations with everyone she matched with. Her dates were beautiful, or his dates were beautiful. Like, there's no way if you've been on a dating app, you haven't had some weird thing happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like it's inevitable.
Like, someone's messaged you something weird. Someone's made you feel creeped out. Like, there's no way.
It's like it's the anonymity that comes from conversing online that allows for people to do random stuff, like send you unwanted photos or comment stuff that is like, would you say this to me in person? Because do you really think that's going to work?
Does your mother know you're talking to me like this? No, I was just, my friend was telling me about her friend who started up a thing online with someone, was like super into this guy enough to where he flew out to like come spend time with her. Mm-hmm. And she said literally like 5 minutes into like him getting in her car from the airport, she was like, crap, like this is not the same guy that like I thought he was. And it got so bad to where like she had to ask him like, I'm sorry, I don't feel safe with you like staying with me.
Oh my God.
Isn't that insane?
That's dramatic.
And she obviously like felt comfortable enough that she like knew who this guy was before. Right?
Oof. But like how comfortable?
I mean, I don't know. I'm
like
so
my
paranoid.
My first thing is, even if I know if I've been talking to the guy for a while, I wouldn't want you staying with me. Like if we're finally meeting in person, I'd still be like, get your own hotel room because I don't know you. Like,
no, for sure.
Rule number 1, don't put yourself in that situation.
But I do think we're a different breed because we're true crime people. Mm-hmm. We think different. Like if you're into true crime, you think different.
Yeah. First date, drinks. Don't commit to a full dinner. Don't commit to a full dinner, drinks.
No. And what do you do with your drink? You watch it like a hawk.
Yeah. You
have
pick
a friend
it up
in the parking lot.
The barista gives it to you. The bartender gives it to you. Don't let him carry it.
You've sent your friends.
That's how you
their
die.
Number, their picture, everything about them.
You allow them to track you for a full 24 hours.
You tell the person, hey, I have to check in with my friends every hour or they're going to come looking for me.
I've literally told a guy that before.
I have too. Yeah. You got to protect yourself. But anyway, what were we talking about?
This person.
Oh, dating apps. They're the worst. Anyways, okay. So she continues. I've been a UA listener since day one. The podcast is the only thing that gets me through the dread of Monday mornings. Well, you know what that means? We're better than coffee.
We're better than coffee.
She said it.
I mean, you heard it here. I heard it here.
And I love that I can start my week off with your beautiful voices.
Oh, you like my voice?
Thank you so much.
My voice?
For coming to the podcast.
It's very, very...
What? You want to finish that sentence?
Had a stroke.
I feel that you just said very, very.
My mind went blank and I couldn't stop saying very. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on.
You're okay.
Continue.
All right. I'd love to stay anonymous, mostly because I have a unique name. I feel that so hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of dating apps.
Yeah.
I'm even scared to put my name because my name is spelled very unique and because I'm like kind of famous on the internet. I couldn't even finish that sentence.
Even say it with a straight face.
But if you go into Instagram and just type Taryne, just my name, my thing will pop up.
Anyone with a remotely like non overly saturated name, like you can find them pretty easily. Yeah. So I understand.
I've had guys before be like, hey, what's your Insta? And I didn't respond because I get freaked out because that's so much commitment.
Oh, I had guys do the same. They were like, how come your Instagram's not linked? And I was like, because you don't need to see it.
Yeah, but then literally like 5 seconds later, they're like, oh, never mind, found it. And I'm like, dang. So that's why I've thought about like switching my name on my socials.
The level at which people dig. I'm like, let's just talk first. Then if we like each other, then dig. Yeah.
I know. Okay. But I wanted to share this tearing it up moment that happened to me a few weeks ago. I went on a date with a guy I met on Hinge. Something to keep in mind is that this was my first time meeting up with someone I met on a dating app. That's the scariest one, right?
Yeah.
Your first one?
The first one is a little awkward.
Yeah. Not that I've been on many, but my first one, I was scared. We made plans to meet at a brewery, and my date arrived a few minutes before I did, and he texted me to tell me he was waiting inside. When I walked into a very packed brewery, may I add, I saw a guy sitting at a table over to my left. He was staring and smiling at me, and he looked like my date. So I started to walk over to him. I began to say hi, and he looked very confused that I was talking to him. And it was only then that I realized that this was not the guy I'm meeting up with. Then out of the corner of my eye, I could see my actual date standing across the room from me watching this whole thing unfold.
Oh my God.
I had to awkwardly backtrack once I realized I got the wrong guy, and it's safe to say that those first few minutes of the date were very awkward and embarrassing. I had a good time, but unfortunately, it was not a love connection. Needless to say, I'm never going on a date ever again.
Okay.
I hope you guys had a good laugh, and I hope y'all have a great Monday. That's good.
That's so really funny. Embarrassing.
But see, I feel like that would start off the date so good.
Oh, it gives you endless conversation.
Unless the person you walked up to, the person you were supposed to meet, looked at them and was like offended, like, you thought that was me?
Unless, yes, or or like the person you walked up to was significantly better looking than the actual date. Because then
you go and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It is funny when you only see someone through pictures and then you see them in person, how much different sometimes people...
Absolutely.
You're like, I can tell it's you, but like you look different.
Yeah, I'm like, were the photos you posted 10 years old?
Seriously.
Be honest. Are these high school photos or is this college photos, you know? Because I'm like, I could see that it's you. I see the resemblance, but you don't look at all like it's
you're like,
not
what were you expecting to do when you actually had to meet up with people?
Then you're like, oh, by the way, I'm 40.
Too bad. I've been height fished.
Yeah.
Where I walked up and I was like, you are not 6'2", my friend. You're a hard 5'9".
5'9".
You're a hard
dramatic difference.
5'9".
My God.
Anyways, so yeah, that's my turn it up.
Wow, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I've never done that.
What? Oh, walk up to the wrong guy. I feel like you're the type that would get there like 30 minutes before, make sure like you have your everything like arranged like to where you're sitting.
I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse into my dating life. I always get there early.
Yeah.
But I don't get out of my car. Why? Because I enjoy walking up a few minutes late and letting them watch me walk up.
Do you look for them?
Straight. No. Like I love when I'll wait for them to be like, hey, like I'm sitting inside, and then I will walk in like knowing that they are going to watch me like find them and then walk over and sit down.
Really? That's interesting.
Well,
I feel like socially that is a very big like area where people would usually feel like anxiety over. And you do have some social anxiety at times.
Yeah.
So I would never guess that.
I have social anxiety in like big group settings, but I thrive in small intimate groups, like one-on-ones or like a party of 5. you know, or less. Also, that's not me like having to start conversation. That's me simply walking up. And I do have a lot of confidence in like me
just walking up,
and like my body and how I present myself. So I think that is really fun for me.
That's so interesting.
And I love like getting up and going to grab a drink or something and knowing that they're watching me. That sounds weird, but
Ashley's like, check me out. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
Also, like, I feel like I have a little bit of control, and it just, I don't know. I enjoy showing up a little late.
Cool.
That's my
The only time Ashley will show up late to anything.
But like,
is a date.
They think I showed up late. I've actually been there.
Been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is everything to sell anything. Squarespace has tools you need to get your business off the ground, including e-commerce templates, inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your product look their best online. I love Squarespace because it connects you with your audience and generates revenue through gated members-only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. And then something I personally love about Squarespace is they can connect all social media accounts. You can display posts from your social profiles on your website, automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. It's all in one area. It sounds overwhelming, but it's not when you have Squarespace. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, guys, check out squarespace.com for the free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, guys, you already know Taryne and I are a little paranoid when it comes to going to sleep at night. Nothing makes us feel safer than a good security system, locked doors, and, you know, the comfort of knowing that we live across the hall from each other. Today, we are sponsored by Simplisafe, and we couldn't be happier because right now, our friends at Simplisafe are giving UA listeners access to all of their New Year's holiday deals, which is 20% off their award-winning home security, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. I'm personally obsessed with Simplisafe because it is so easy to use, and if you have any issues whatsoever, they have people ready to talk to you, like real people, not robots, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a really easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind in the new year. And you can easily customize a system for your home online in just minutes and even get free custom recommendations. Hurry, take 20% off your Simplisafe system and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplisafe.com/advice. Again, that's simplisafe.com/advice for 20% off your entire system.
Do you want to jump into your story?
I would love to.
All right.
This one is titled, When Do I Give Up?
Never.
Never give up. Never. What is that from? It's from a movie.
Like every movie.
Never give up.
Don't give up. Never give up. Never surrender.
I think it's from Alaska. Which is an old Disney movie.
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Super old Disney movie. What did Dad say? Never give up. Never. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, let's get into it. Hey, girls. Of course, I want to start off by saying how much I adore y'all. Ever since the first episode, you guys make my week and somehow always give me advice that I never knew I needed.
Because we're freaking magical.
That's how professional we are, people.
Magical.
That's how good we are at our job.
Yep.
She writes, let's begin, shall we? So I've been dating this amazing, sweet guy for almost a year and a half now, and we were inseparable for many months. You know how COVID is. Anyways, we are polar opposites when it comes to our motivations for work/school. I am super motivated, organized student in an intense program. Also, I'm an Enneagram 8, if that helps paint a picture at all.
The challenger.
Which, if you guys don't know, the Enneagram 8 is the challenger. They're really good at confrontation. They're very bold in how they speak, and they don't shy away from a challenge, which pretty much is what she already explained. She writes, her boyfriend has trouble being motivated to get any work done, take care of himself, eat properly, or excel. This has been an ongoing problem through senior year and now into university. We're currently doing long distance, which makes having serious conversations harder, but we've talked about it a lot, and I try to help him find something that will motivate him. I share tips on how I stay up to date with my schoolwork and how you need to find something that you love doing. She adds in parentheses, for me, it's going to the gym, so that you can get out of bed and get your day started. I feel like a broken record player because we've had this conversation so many times, but I also don't want to sound like an over-controlling mother. We've talked about therapy so that he can deal with his ADHD and depression, but he doesn't have the money to go and refuses to do anything virtual. She puts in all caps. So here's my problem. When am I supposed to know when to give up? There's nothing major wrong right now, but I feel like the more we grow, the more we are going to grow apart. I can't see myself marrying him anymore, but I also don't know where to draw the line because we're so young. I want somebody that has the same motivations as me, but also he has always been extremely supportive, so I don't know what to do. Any advice would be amazing. Thank you, girls, so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, wow. I thought I was listening, but I forgetting details. Did she say how old she was?
They are in... She didn't give an exact age.
University,
but they're in
college.
Okay, I'm guessing like 22.
Okay. I have so many things.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks, Ash. I'll just start with one thing because I know how I'll talk forever and then I take all your things and then
don't take all my thoughts.
Stare at me blankly.
Don't take all my thoughts.
And then I'm like, is she mad at me? Okay. I think my first. I don't want to like dive straight in, but we're gonna dive straight in.
That's what she's here for.
So I think a lot of people, especially a lot of strong people who are very set and secure in who they are, unintentionally take this like, not like God role, but kind of like this complex of like, how I live my life is right. And you kind of set your own standards of like, no, this is what it looks like to be motivated. This is what it looks like to be hardworking. Like if you have your life together, it looks like A, B, C, because that's where they've found their strength and that's like their own truth. And so I think unintentionally, they kind of start to put people in comparison with their standards that they've set.
Yes.
And so a lot of times people don't measure up to that because rightfully so, they're a different person.
Yeah.
And so I think from what I'm hearing, like obviously there is a deeper issue because he's going through stuff like he seems unmotivated and whatever.
She also mentioned depression.
Yes. But I would just be curious to know like more about him specifically and how he ticks because yeah, maybe he's not going to the gym and eating healthy, but is he like thriving in like his relationships and his work stuff and like the things that are important to him? So it's almost like I just think I obviously I think there is something he's going through right now, but I would just suggest to take a step back and to not put him in the same box that you are in, because you're not the same person.
Yeah.
And it's a dangerous place to be in, and resentment starts to come like when, and I even struggled that like with you and Alicia, like you guys are very like the stuff that you put ahead of everything is like fitness, like your physical body, like what's going on. Like that's something that you guys have found so much enjoyment in and that you thrive in, right?
Yeah.
Well, for me, like I felt when I started to kind of not put that as my focus, I felt like this rift start to form, and I started to kind of be like, oh my God, are they judging me? Like, is that why we don't hang out as much? Because I'm not like doing what they're doing. And it's like, I started to feel this like difference that I was putting up in my own head. So imagine if you guys were actually like what she's saying, looking at me and being like, wow, she does not have her life together because she's not doing this and she's not doing this. When I was in that low place, I feel like that would have caused me to like push away even more, because I'm like, I can't handle your judgment when I'm already struggling, like judging myself.
Interesting. That's what I was going to say is I feel like a lot of people that I've met, and this includes me in different areas of my life, when people try to force something on me, I almost want to run in the opposite direction.
Yes.
And this is something that like first example I thought of was like my mom is this amazing drummer, and I was forced as a kid to do music lessons. And I love that. Like, I think obviously in a parenting aspect, like I get that and I understand that, but it made me not want to play because I felt this kind of like forced thing. But because my mom wanted
reality,
me to.
You loved it, but it was the forced.
It was so good for me.
Yes.
I ended up having to, and here's where I'm going. Bear with me.
No, I'm following. I'm following. Ash,
I ended up having to stop doing music lessons with my mom and get my own drum instructor separately, like away from her. And that's when I started taking drumming seriously because I chose it for myself. So I'm curious how much he actually would like to start challenging himself and putting his health first, but is feeling this pressure from you. And so is feeling like, oh, well, you're making me not want to do it, so I'm not going to. But he actually might want to if you just backed off. Yeah,
because it's again like our
he needs
natural
to do this
tendency
on his own.
Like to try to like measure up to the people in our lives. And I mean, not that this is right, but I think there is like a tendency just from how people were raised, and I think we're becoming a lot more aware of like how to have like healthy masculinity, but I think that there is this still thing from like guys like, you know, who've grown up being told like you have to be like the man, you have to be like in charge of your household someday, like whatever. And so if he's like struggling and then his girlfriend is just like thriving and like, come on, like get it together. Like there could be like a hint of that too, where he's just feeling like all his power is like stripped and he's just like, I don't know who I am. And like, and so there's like pushing on multiple levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think I get the like, I would love to do canceling, but not virtual. But that also could be a built-in like excuse. And I've done it before where I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I would love to like be better at this, but too bad I can't because like I got this going on.
I was going to say the virtual thing sounds like an excuse to me too. Because if he really wanted it, then it'd be like, whatever I can get, I'm just going to go for it.
And it's not the greatest. Like I'm doing virtual counseling.
I did virtual. It was hard.
And I don't love that aspect. Like literally one of my sessions the other day got like cut in the middle and I was sitting there like
the amount of times that I started daydreaming, cried and they couldn't tell, or just started drawing or went on my phone and they had no idea. Like
it's hard.
I get too distracted.
It's the taking the step.
And it's also prioritizing your mental health and taking care of yourself.
Yep.
And I think what it does sound like, and I want to like encourage you here for a second, it does sound like he needs someone like you in your life. And I do think it's good to challenge the people around you. I just think when it comes to something as serious as this, you can't be the one doing something for them or wanting it more than they do.
Yeah.
Because that's only going to, one, bother you. Because I feel like I've been in you, our anonymous writer, I've been in your place multiple times, and I feel 100%, like I know how to help.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to help you if you would just listen. But the like, it always comes back to, it's not my job and it's not my responsibility. And if they wanted me to, they will tell me.
Yeah. No,
like
yeah.
if my parents or family, friends, you, like anyone, if they really want my help, they'll be like, hey, Ashley, and they'll tell me, because I've made a safe place for people to tell me that. So I can't assume that they want me to step in and start controlling their life, because it's not my responsibility and it's not my right. I have no right to do that.
It's not your responsibility. And like, what's hard for a lot of us to do is to accept that you're like, what you think they should do might not be what they should do. Like, and so that's what I think, especially as an 8, I can relate to this because I'm a 2, but I go to an 8 a lot. And I get very obsessive with when I watch people doing stuff and I'm like, what are you doing? And then when they don't listen, I'm offended by it.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, like, all we are meant to do is like support the people in our lives. Now, when you are in a romantic relationship and that person is affecting you in a certain way, and especially like you're not married, like if you start to feel, because she mentioned like, I don't know if I see like the future. Well, then you got to think about like, are you doing more damage to yourself and him by staying in something that's not meant to be?
Yeah.
Because the longer you're with someone, the more attachment you form, the more you open yourself up to things happening that hurt you, that are going to impact your actual person who's out
more
there.
Messy. Yeah.
So I think if you're starting to feel this sense of like, I'm not seeing a future, I would handle that breakup very delicately and not rub in his face, well, it's because you never did this and you.
Yeah, no.
Anytime if you're making a decision, you need to always say the I statements. Like, I just feel like I'm not in it. Like, I don't want to waste your time because like I'm not feeling this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, put the focus on yourself.
But also, I feel like you should give him a second. I feel like you should intentionally back off a little bit from, because I'm just going to assume, I might be wrong, but if you are an 8 and you are as driven as you appear to be, you might be coming off a little harsh in how you speak with him and how you challenge him. So I would intentionally take a few steps back and give him some time. Obviously, I would put a time limit on it because I don't want you waiting around forever. But I would give him some space and allow him to hopefully raise the bar himself and like meet his own goals. But if you don't see that drive or ambition in any way, then I would, and obviously that's a problem for you, then that's your sign to probably end it, because it does sound like that's a deal breaker for you.
Yeah. And I mean, have you, I'm not assuming you have or haven't, but just a question, like, have you actually sat with him and just said like, hey, you know how much I love you. You know how much like I want to be a support to you. And I could not call myself a good girlfriend if I didn't say, I feel like I've noticed like you've been struggling and I just want to know like how I can help. Like, how can I help you? Like, what do you need from me? Like, I would love to talk to you about this stuff. Like, at least provide him a safe space to say what he needs to say. And then if from there you start to communicate like, okay, well, this is affecting me and like whatever. And then it kind of like grows from there. But your first point of contact should always be like, hey, what do you need from me? Like, do you need me to leave you alone? Do you need some space? Like, do you need an accountability partner? Like, what do you need from me?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you want a coach? Do you want me to actually be like waking you up every morning to take you to the gym? Or do you want me to just kind of like be supportive and encouraging?
Yeah.
Like, there's a big difference and I can do both roles well. So let me know which one you want.
If fitness is not his thing, like, that's not your place to tell him he needs to do that. Like, if you want someone who's into it and he doesn't want to, then that's your choice if you want to find someone else. But you can't push that onto him. So if he's like, hey, like, I don't really care right now about like working out and eating healthy, like that's not my priority, like these things are, then you have to accept that that's like where he's at. You can't push that onto him.
Yeah.
But if that's something you find of value, then you need to make that choice to find someone who has that too.
Yeah. And I've told Taryne this before, like fitness is a huge part of my life. It's part of my everyday routine. And I genuinely can't picture myself with someone who doesn't take it kind of seriously.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've realized about myself. And that's something that I've held in the back of my head going into dating.
Yeah.
So like the first few dates, I'll like pick up on stuff. And if they are into it, I'm like, oh, cool. Like we would probably mesh really well. And if they're not, I'd be like, oh, well, we might not really get along. But I need someone who does.
Yeah.
And I've recognized that and I've accepted that. So like,
yeah,
I think it's totally fine if that's what you need in your life. You just need to,
but that's a you thing.
Recognize
him.
that has nothing to do with his drive or goal or ambition. That's just you being that type of person and needing that in life.
Yeah.
And that's nothing wrong with him. That's, again, like Taryne said, that's a you thing. So
that's a choice that you've made. So you have to take the responsibility of
if you do end it with him or have this conversation with him, like this is you saying like, this is me. Yeah. And I think I've realized I need this.
Yeah. No,
end of
for
discussion.
Sure. This is such a hard, I hope, Anonymous, that like some of these things are resonating, because this is such a hard thing to talk about without knowing so many more details.
Yes.
But I think either way, I think you're at a point where you've either got to shift and try to meet him where he's at, or you need to just make the choice that you need something else. And either one of those is fine. Just make sure you're gentle in either way, because I think we've gotten so much as a society of like, oh, I have to take care of myself and I need to stick up for me and it's about me and whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you do realize like you could possibly impact this person in a negative way for the rest of their life. Like take a second, shut your mouth and just, because you can't be like, get off your butt. So I'm leaving and like whatever. Like that's not something that like is necessary. Like you can say something kindly and walk away without having to like destroy a person in the meantime.
It's cruel.
Yeah.
It's really cruel, and we're above that. So definitely don't do that.
I'm not Anonymous. I'm not assuming that you would do that.
No.
I just obviously am passionate about it because I just hate that people like hurt others like so nonchalant. So I just think either way, you need a second and think about what's best for you, what you need. But in proceeding, because he is dealing with some depression and stuff, just be really gentle either way.
Absolutely. But proud of you for the fact that you're even like trying to help him in this type of way or care about him so much is really beautiful. I love that you're figuring out what you need and what you want in life. And I feel like this is going to be, whether it like you have a conversation with him and you help him or you guys end up separating, this is going to be a good move for you.
Yeah.
A good step forward.
I agree.
We love growth.
Love growth.
Love growth.
So I feel like I'm not alone when I say, when it comes to my skin, I care a lot and I want what's best for me, but I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to what is good for my skin. And I'm a little bit lazy and don't want to spend too much time going through like billions of products. That's why I am obsessed with Curology. They do all the work for you and make it so easy to have skincare that's made just for you. If you're new to Curology, it is game-changing custom skincare made for you by a dermatology provider. They'll create a custom prescription cream for your specific goals, whether that's tackling acne, clogged pores, skin texture, dark spots, fine lines, or something else. You start by taking a short online skin quiz and uploading photos. And if it's a good fit, they'll ship you your formula right to your door. And guys, it even has your name on it. I also am obsessed with the convenience of not having to go search for skincare up and down the aisles and just taking a guess, but instead trusting Curology to find the right products and send me exactly what I need. And their packages come with a cleanser, moisturizer, and a custom formula that's made just for you and your goals. Get started with Curology just like we did with a free 30-day trial at Curology.com/advice. Just pay $5 for shipping and handling. That's Curology.com/advice to start your free 30-day trial. Cancel anytime. Prescription subject to consultation.
Okay, well, thank you, Anonymous. And we also are jumping to another, no, not Anonymous. I don't know why I thought they were anonymous. Actually, you're not paying attention to me.
Would you stop?
You're not. Admit, were you?
I was listening.
What'd I say?
I don't know. I was responding to an email.
Yeah, you were. Everyone can hear your
me go.
little tip-tap fingers. Okay. You're going to be like me. I wasn't listening in the beginning of yours. And then I was like, wait, who are you talking about? Okay, How old are they?
We're back. We're back on track.
Okay. This one is called My Weakness Makes Me Feel Like Garbage.
Yeah.
Everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Let's all just agree on that.
Yep. All right. Dear Ashley and Taryne, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We did.
We did.
This
was a while ago.
Yeah. Before I start, I want to say that I really enjoy listening to the podcast. I've learned so much, and I really enjoy the friendship you have with each other.
Stop. That was beautiful.
Us We're silently reaching across for each other.
The way.
Okay. Anyways, I'm Allison, and I'm currently a master's student in New Jersey studying biomedical sciences.
Oh, get it, girl.
You sound way smarter than I will ever be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The class is a discussion-based course, and when I registered, I thought I would be fine. However, and however's in all caps. Anytime there's a however, I feel like it should be in all caps.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
like, I love my life. However, I want to die.
Plot twist.
Yeah. It has not been fine. Class participation is 30% of the course, and I absolutely hate class discussions. I definitely should have dropped the class, but I thought that I would be okay since I have grown and changed. Also, one of the big assignments for the class is a research paper, which is 30% of your grade, and I really enjoy writing. I told myself that my goal for each class is to speak at least once. As the semester progresses, however, that did not happen. I've only spoke once throughout the entire semester, and honestly, it makes me feel terrible. I talked to my therapist about it, and I definitely was like, it'll be okay. I do have a couple more classes left, and so I will get the courage to say something in class. But guess what? That did not happen. And now I only have one class left for the semester. Honestly, I've given up because I know that class discussions are not my strength at all, but I feel like crap for thinking that I could have done it. On top of that, I feel like I have prepared a lot for each class with the readings that were assigned, and I've tried emailing the professor at the beginning of the semester about my worries, but received no reply. That is the absolute worst. I get, like, when you go from high school to college, it's a different playing field.
It is.
It's totally different.
You have to be annoying.
I hate the fact that the professors are so kind of like callous to everyone and very like out of reach.
Yeah,
you know?
They're like, figure it out, do it on your own.
Yeah. Because of all my efforts, it makes me feel even worse. My therapist said that I can either accept this weakness as something that is a part of me, or I can work on it. I decided that I'm going to try to accept it because I know that I have other strengths, but I still don't feel great. As of right now, I'm honestly just hoping for a B, and I know that a B is not the end of the world. I'm just really trying to make myself feel better about my weakness, but it's so hard. I'm honestly not sure what sort of advice I'm looking for or even asking for, but I'm excited to hear what you guys have in store for me if you do read my email. Anyways, thanks for letting me write this out. I really, really hope you guys do read this because I'm desperate for y'all's thoughts. Sincerely, Allison.
Allison.
Ashley, I feel like...
Yeah. Yep. Allison,
just
you
take
and
over.
I are the same person. I really want to just take a second to say I experienced the exact same thing in college and high school. I need a second to collect my thoughts. I need a second to figure out what I feel about the topic, what my beliefs are on the topic before I can actually say something. And every time in class, because there's so many people, at least 10 people would speak and then literally say every thought that came to my head. So I would be like, well, yeah, there's that. I don't need to chime in anymore. And I feel like I had to come to a conclusion where I realized that's not a weakness. That's just how I am. And I do think that there has to be some sort of degree of separation in recognizing that this doesn't mean that you are a poor communicator. Yeah. You just communicate differently. Mm-hmm. Even at like parties or family dinners, I have a hard time interjecting myself because I need a second to think about what I'm saying. I'm not great at just like going for it when it comes to like real conversation. Not like topical, like shallowy conversation. Yeah. Like if we're talking about something real, I need a second.
And you're not the type to like speak loudly enough to be like, I'm going to talk over you so I can like interject here.
I don't have
You're
a
the
loud...
type that's like, when there's a pause, you'll like add what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is hard in situations like that.
Yeah. And I have so many friends, Taryne being one of them, that is so like really good at expressing themselves, expressing their thoughts like in the moment really quickly. Also that are just like loud and exuberant and like fun. And
You're fun, Ash.
I know I'm fun. I'm definitely fun. That's not what I'm saying. I'm definitely fun. But when I am with people who speak loudly and can speak very quickly, I usually can't get a word in. Yeah. So I've learned that that's not something against me. That's not something against them. That's just kind of how I am. And if it's someone I'm comfortable with, I'd be like, hey, let me talk.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Let me talk.
Do you with your sister, you get like that? You'll be like, you interrupted me.
Yeah, you interrupted me.
I'm going to say something.
Okay.
Do you know that in big groups, that's why I always am like, wait, Ash, remember the other day you did that?
You're so sweet.
I give you like ins.
I'll be like, oh, thank you, Taryne. I will step into that pathway that you just opened. She literally like parts the Red Sea so that I can speak. But I do remember specifically class being really difficult for me.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds like you are an excellent student and have great goals and are achieving them. B is not a bad thing. I think it is healthy for you to try to speak like once in a while and challenge yourself in that way. But I would just not be as harsh on yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. And yeah, I think you need to be more gentle with yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about this before, but I think with certain things, and this is in relationships, and we kind of touched on it honestly in the first one, there's things about ourselves that we have to just accept and learn how to like cope in a way that like works for us. And then there are areas that we can push ourselves. Also, I don't think you have to just like make a decision that's final. I think there's moments where in that moment you can accept like, wow, this is just not going to happen today because I'm struggling. And then the next day you can try again. And I don't think that's like, oh, I failed today and now I'm going to try to do better. It's just like this, it is what it is. Like, and the second you start to be more gentle in that way, the second like what you used to qualify as a mess up doesn't like affect you as much because you're just like, nope, like today wasn't it. Like it just wasn't my day, you know?
And I think there's nothing wrong with using things like raising your hand to get attention in class. 90% of the time that's something I had to do, and I might sit there with my hand up and I might feel like a fool with sitting there with my hand up for a long period of time in university where most people don't raise their hands. But if that's what it takes for you to get your voice heard and to get a better grade, then let's go. Like let's utilize that so that we can get our voice heard. If that helps, maybe you like interject or learn like an easy way to be like, oh, I have a thought on that, or you know, so that you can get everyone's attention. Figure out what that looks like for you, and then just lean on that for the rest of school.
Yeah, I looked up like a couple tips on overcoming participating in class.
I love tangible tips.
Honestly, like most of these are pretty like you like. I feel like you'd hear them and be like, duh, but like. I thought some of them were kind of cool. One of the things I thought was cool is it said like mind over matter, of like just thinking about like really like what is it that I'm trying to do right now, and is this going to like hurt me? No. And then also it raised the question like, do you frequently just think about when someone messed up or said the wrong thing in class?
Yeah.
No. Like I never did. Like I can't think back.
If I messed up and said the wrong thing, it's all I would think about all day long. If someone else did,
but nobody else is thinking about you. Yeah. Like no one. Honestly, I think we all think everyone is watching us and cares about our life.
We are the main character.
Nobody cares. Everyone is so self-absorbed with their own stuff. Like nobody cares.
Yeah.
So I think it's like remembering that. Also, like never underestimating. Like I'm the type that I'd raise my hand and say something in class, and like if the teacher destroyed me, I'd just be like, cool. Oh, and then like I just kind of like laugh, and then people laugh, and then they're done. They're
because
like on to the next thing.
It's like, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah,
cool.
Whoops. You know.
Also, I went out of my way this was after like I had been in school for a bit. I went out of my way. I annoyed probably the hell out of my professors because I would show up to their offices even at unscheduled times and be like, listen, I'm having
Linda,
a hard time. It was always my math teacher.
Yeah.
And I would express to them that I'm trying so hard, but I can't move forward. And I would look for advice like you're doing with us right now. And I think including your teacher in this and letting them see that this is hard for you, but you're trying, I think might actually help a lot.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it depends because like if the teacher's not willing to like talk with you at all, I mean, I would see like if you have like a school counselor or something, maybe you could talk to.
I would even like show up to their office hours, like show up and be like, hi. I need to talk to you. You haven't been responding. I need you right now.
I physically, like, I cannot get involved in the discussion. Like, do you mind calling me first? Like, every once in a while, if you think about it, like, if you see me raising my hand, like, you know, another thing it was saying, like, to separate and remember, like, this is my education. Yeah. So thinking about it as not like, oh my gosh, I have to get over my fear, but being like, no, this is just like I'm writing a paper. Like, this is my education. Which I thought was like interesting too. To like, sometimes I have to do that where I'm like, no, strip everything. I'm not focusing on my emotions right now. Like, I'm just focusing on like this,
click into this is your job mode.
Yeah.
Me being like not the most outgoing person, I somehow thrived behind the desk at work because like this was my job.
Yeah.
It wasn't me personally, it was my job. Yeah. So maybe click into like, this is your job.
Yeah. And also like, if you like run out of things to say, like people just like hearing the sound of their own voices. So you could also raise your hand and always like ask a clarifying question. Yeah. But that still was like, oh, she participated, you know. But I mean, you wrote this at Thanksgiving, so I'm sure you're done with the class. And girl, accept and own whatever grade you got. Yeah.
And it's move into this next semester.
There's a next semester.
With confidence.
But I do think my biggest advice would be to like, accept and not beat yourself up for like where you struggle, but also like constantly just be trying to see like if you can like conquer it in another day and like praise yourself for those little victories, you know, but don't get down on yourself or think like you're losing if you don't do other stuff. Like not everyone in the world has the same strengths. Not everyone. Like if all of us were the type that just like burst in with our opinions and are so loud all the time, like no one would hear anything. So you are needed, you are valued, you are created just the way like you should be. So own who you are and don't get on yourself, but you can also be proactive with, okay, well, how can I survive, you know, this class, or like, let me push myself tomorrow, you know? But yes, anyways, thank you so much for writing in, Allison. And yeah, these were good stories. These are great, like real life things.
Very good. Love them.
Okay. Should I wrap us up with a...
Absolutely. As per usual.
A dad joke? Okay. Why did the barber win the race, Ash?
Something by a hair.
That's really... It's not it, but that's really good. He knew a shortcut.
Damn it. So good, guys. If you made it to the dad joke, we love you the mostest. You already know that. Be sure to like, rate, review, share,
subscribe. They can subscribe to our YouTube.
Follow us. Duh. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We have personal Instagrams, Ash Nicole and Taryne Renee. Follow us there. And yeah, we'll be talking to you guys soon in the next episode.
We love you all.
Yeah.
Check in with someone, send someone love, and do something
good,
exciting today.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to just the idea of creating a website or domain, I shut down. I get overwhelmed. There's too much to do. There's too many things to learn that I don't know how to do. And I end up getting overwhelmed and not being able to do stuff like that. And that is why I'm so excited to be working with Squarespace. Squarespace, if you did not know, is everything you could possibly need to sell absolutely anything. Squarespace has the tools you need to get your business off the ground. And let me just go ahead and say since I started my very first business last year, you need all the help you can get. Squarespace includes e-commerce templates, inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your product look its very best. My entire job, my entire career is off of social media, and one thing I love about Squarespace is that they can display posts from your social profiles on your website. They'll automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so that your followers can share it too. Sometimes juggling multiple social media platforms as well as a website can get like a little bit of a lot and you get a little lost. One of the best things about Squarespace is that it manages everything for you and it's all in one place. Squarespace even allows you to see how your visits, unique visitors, and page views trend over time. You can gain insight into the top traffic sources, products, device types, browsers, and operating systems by visits. And then one of my favorite tools that Squarespace has is they have a blogging platform which supports a configurable sharing button, letting your visitors share content on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, StumbleUpon, Reddit, Pinterest, and Tumblr. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, guys, check out squarespace.com for the free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.